but really, why should we care? What does this mean if my children are going to college? Why should I care about this conversation?
Very good question. You should care because you live in a community where you want your neighbors to vote. You want people to be able to take care of themselves economically and raise their children in healthy and nurturing environments. You want businesses and companies to come to the St. Louis area because we have the kind of workforce they want to employ. You want, when it's election day or when there's a community meeting, you want an educated citizenry involved in making the decisions that will shape the future of the community in which you live. And not unimportantly, even if you don't have kids, or even if you don't have a college degree, the data shows us that your wages will be higher if you live in a community where there is a higher degree completion rate. So it's very much a situation in which a rising tide lifts all boats, and a healthy community has a higher college completion rate.
And even on an individual level, do the statistics show that, like, a longer life expectancy, for instance?
Yes, better physical health, certainly all sorts of other indicators of the vibrancy of an individual, both economically and otherwise.
Tell me about the study St. Louis Graduates did.
So St. Louis Graduates is a consortium of nonprofit agencies, many of whom you've heard from this evening, as well as funders, business leaders, and philanthropic interests in our community, band together a number of years ago to say, there are some great things happening in St. Louis. They would be greater if we were working together, if we had a consistent set of definitions, some goals we shared, and if we could leverage what we all know to move towards a greater degree completion in our region. We set a goal then that by 2020, which doesn't seem that far away now, our region should be at 50% of our adults having a degree beyond high school. That might be a 2-year degree, that might be a 4-year degree, it might be a technical degree, it might be a liberal arts degree, it might be a graduate degree. But we're looking to build the kind of community in which we all want to live. 3 years ago, we released some data, and one of the big punchlines that might be familiar to our viewers and our readers is that St. Louis at the time ranked 12th among the 35 largest metropolitan regions in the country, 12th in high school degree completion, 24th in baccalaureate degree completion. And that sounded pretty good. We were fairly happy with that. But when we started to drill down further, we then realized that we were 31st of 35 in the proportion of our African American population that had completed a degree. And that really was the catalyst to set a goal and to begin to work smarter, as we heard Dr. Bender say, to work smarter and work in greater collaboration towards that 50% goal.
Where are we now, and why 50%? Why that goal, and where are we now?
We chose that goal because we looked at some of the most vibrant metropolitan regions in the country, and we said we want to be like those areas where employment's high, average wages are high, and quality of life is good. So when we set that goal, we then said we're going to measure this sequentially. We're going to report this transparently to the community, and we're going to make progress. 3 years later, we revisited that data just recently, and we've heard earlier this evening, St. Louis has made the most progress of all of those 35 metropolitan areas in just this 3-year period. That's fantastic. We're proud, we have reason to celebrate, and there have been so many contributors and participants in that
So
process.
what are we doing right? Why are we leading there?
What we are doing right is we have quality programs in this region, we have educational leadership committed, and we have business leadership committed in this community as well, between the Chamber and Civic Progress and a number of other business leadership organizations. We have recognition of how important this is to our region.
There's buy-in.
There is a great deal of buy-in. We still have great gaps in the progress by race and by geography. So this is not just an issue in our region in the urban core, although it's very vibrant and very evident in the urban core, but also in semi-rural parts of our region, where college going is no more a tradition than it is in some parts of the central city.
So how do you tackle those areas?
The same way we tackle the urban core. The kinds of programs you've heard about this evening, addressing affordability, providing scholarships, and the kind of support that families need to make good decisions that will limit debt and improve access and persistence to a degree.